got to talk about. We now know who the ATF director is. Now, I'm going to just go real live with you real fast and just walk you through a few of the things that we know, a few things that we don't, and a few of the potential implications of what this could mean. All right, so as you can see, I am in a hotel room when I'm at an event. I'm doing a thing, but I wanted to bring this to you guys this morning to start your Saturday off real right, because we now know who the ATF director is going to be, the acting director. And it's not Brandon Herrera, and it's not some wild card. Guys, we are talking about Kash Patel. Now, the reason that this is so interesting, and kind of I'm going to walk you through last night and how this worked, because it started getting circulated, and we had to wait for a lot of confirmation. We had to learn how this was going to work. But effectively, you're talking about Kash Patel being the FBI director, and right now the acting ATF director. Now, what does that mean? Where does that fall? What all the details? Okay, so what we're getting now is that the president actually signed the documentation to make this a real thing, the commission document. Okay, so what does that mean? What that means is we've got Kash Patel as the sitting FBI director and then the acting ATF director. Now, here's where it gets interesting. He doesn't have to go through a confirmation process again. So when you're looking at all of these ins and outs, because I've never seen this before, it gets really interesting around what this means. Now, I'm going to walk you through some potentials here in a second, but let me just kind of walk you through where we're at. The sources that I was connecting were saying that this is an official thing. This is not a if, maybe, whatever. The paperwork has been signed. So as you're looking at the breaking implications of this, you immediately look at, okay, what does that do for deputy directors? What does that do for the actual ATF vacancy? What does that do for Marvin Richards? I mean, there are so many questions, and we're going to stay up to date on this, and we're going to walk you through all of these things. But here's one thing that I want to put on the radar. I want to put a pin in it real quick as you guys are filtering in. This does not mean, at least from what we've been told from our sources at the moment, that the ATF and the NFA, or excuse me, the ATF and the FBI are joining. That is not on the radar as what we've been told as of this moment. So where we're effectively at is we have an acting director of the ATF that is also functioning as the acting director of the FBI. Well, that's a twofer. So now how this can be done is effectively the president signs a piece of paper. It's a commission that they call it, and they want him in that position. He starts acting in that role while he's still sending out FBI orders as well. Now, there were some things that we were talking about last night from a standpoint of what does that mean around the location of the office? What does that mean about who reports to whom? Where does it come from? I honestly don't know those details yet. But with Kash Patel being the active director of the FBI and the ATF, there is the potential and the concern for a merger, which we don't want the merger, right? Because the merger would be a concern. FBI, more money, harder to control, a lot more aggressive tactics we've seen. This is a very interesting one. Now, someone is saying right there, Murray, we're downsizing the federal government and this, effectively talking about abolishing the ATF. Be careful on that one. Pump the brakes because we don't know where that one's going yet, right? If we're talking about the abolition of the ATF, does that get folded directly into the FBI? We genuinely don't know. So there's lots and lots of pieces to this that are very interesting. And what I do know 100% is that was released last night, like 8, 9 p.m., that the president signed the paperwork for Kash Patel to be the acting director of the ATF. Again, what are the implications of that? Pam Bondi fired the lead counsel of the ATF. We covered that. Does that mean that, I don't know, does that mean that the head counsel of, or the chief counsel of the FBI now functions as the chief counsel of the ATF? I genuinely don't know that, but that's why we need to keep being vigilant on what we're covering. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because as we go into this, guys, there's going to be a lot of nuance that we are not aware of. This is a sneaky one. We were all very surprised when this dropped last night, simply because it was kind of unexpected. So where do we go from here? I'm not 100% sure, and you guys can leave the comments right down here. I can actually see them on my phone. This is a little unusual because I'm in a hotel room, but one thing that I do want to hit, it's not Brandon. That aside, this is going to get a bit complicated now, I take it. Yes, it's going to get complicated. I don't know what that would mean. Again, we're going to figure it out. But that's one of those things. Now, someone here is saying delete the ATF. Okay. Again, I think Brandon Herrera did a video on this, which is excellent, which is a really good point of reference. You need, before you delete the ATF, you have to delete the reason for the ATF's existence. So like the NFA, the GCA, the or the Gun Control Act, or the National Firearms Act, if the reasons for enforcement still exist by Congress, it's just going to go to another branch. So you have to keep that in mind. Now that's where the merger, not the merger, excuse me, the conversion of the ATF directorship and the FBI directorship by Kash Patel comes in and gets very interesting, because what does that mean? Does that mean they're completely separate entities? From what I've been told, there is no plan or there's no talk about a merger of any kind of those bureaucracies. So where we're at right now, that's good, but I genuinely don't know what that would mean from a standpoint of where we go from here. I do know that he is the acting ATF director, and the paperwork has been signed. Trump has said it. He's dictated it. He said this is happening. So, I mean, I genuinely don't know where we go from here. But again, guys, if you're coming in here, leave some comments right there. Hopefully Kash pulls the reins on both agencies. Then let's work on getting a good ATF director. Do not delete the ATF, just remove its law enforcement ability. So Jim right there is saying one side of this argument as well. Now, this is an interesting one. Live life right here. It seems a little too backroom politics style for my liking. Now, I think that's a very interesting point, Liv. If you're going at this from the perspective of what just happened, where's the ATF directorship? Who are we going to get? Did we vet them? Do we get to nominate them? Do we get to see who is actually in the position? I see that point. Is it a little backroom dealy? I can see that point too. I'm not going to say that there's not a serious concern for like questions there. The FBI dismantled gun control from the inside. Now, Snow Blaster, that's an interesting point. I don't throw a lot of weight behind that one, simply because the FBI is the background checks. FBI is the impetus for all the things that the ATF relies on. So that would be a little bit of a question mark for me. Here we go. Lyndon says, the ATF is an enforcement of law as far as I'm aware, so it would make more sense for the ATF to be lowered in scope to some degree, but I don't think a rushed removal will be positive. And again, that's one line of thinking on this. ATF has definitely overstepped its boundaries. All right, so guys, if you are filtering in as of right now, and it's early on Saturday, so we usually don't go this early, so thank you for tuning in. You're talking about Kash Patel being the active director of the FBI and the ATF. Where we're at right now, I genuinely have to do a lot of things. I have to watch what he does. I have to watch what the bureaucracies do. I have to watch the reactions. There's going to be a lot of stuff dropping very quickly, because I have a funny and sneaky suspicion that this is going to be a fast and furious kind of situation from a standpoint of the speed and veracity of this. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to watch it all the way. Give us a good reason to want the rust in the three of them. I don't follow that one. Legendary says, it has been said from the beginning that the duties of the ATF should be absorbed into the FBI. They have more resources. Right. That's kind of the point of what a lot of gun groups don't want, is because they have a lot more resources. They are not a specified agency, and they cannot be put under the thumb near as easily. Thanks for keeping us informed. Hey, I'm glad that you guys are here this morning. That is awesome. Yeah, Wayne, actually, me and Jared were at dinner last night when this dropped. We're at the same event. Yeah, he dropped it like 10 minutes ago. So yeah, guys, as you can see, we, the actual 2A community, picked Brandon Herrera. Yes, I would agree. That's been a very strong consensus. So who's up for election for the ATF then? Guys, I don't know where we go from here, to be quite candid. This is something that caught us all off guard. I mean, like, genuinely, when I tell you we were at dinner last night with a few people, all of us were scratching our heads pretty quickly. We were observing, we were running through our brains of how it works, all the ins and outs. And where we effectively ended was, the word on the street is that the ATF and the FBI are not merging into one entity, which is in my opinion, good thing. FBI Director Kash Patel is still directing the FBI. He's just stepping into the ATF role in the short term, in the interim. That's the word on the street. But again, we have to keep on watching these things, so we don't exactly know. Snowblaster, Kash appoints Brandon as acting deputy director of the ATF. That is 100% correct. He absolutely could do that. Kathleen Thompson asked an excellent question. Is this a good thing? I don't know yet. I'll be 100% candid. Do I know that Kash Patel is On the Patriot side of this, yes, I do. Have I met him? Yes, I have. Is he someone that I would trust in the role? Yes. I don't know what the implications are for the bureaucracy, and do they tie together? Do they not tie together? That's a big one. I genuinely don't know. Um, so yeah, and Ice Cold just said it really well. This is uncharted territory. So where does this go from here, guys? I genuinely don't know. We're gonna find out, but all I can say is make sure you guys are liking these videos, you're subscribing to the channel, you're turning the notification bell on, because this is a pretty big one, guys. It's a pretty big one. There's a lot of stuff. All right, so hold on, Greg. I want to hit something real quick. Gregory Lander. So all your pearl clutching about Bondi is done. I never had any pearl clutching about Bondi. What I had was some concerns about decisions that she had made in the past. And I even said multiple times in the last few videos, she has not shown those concerns to be true as of yet. And she's doing the right things that I've seen. We're still waiting on all the rest of it. That's what I've said consistently. Rumble Stilskin. So they removed the head of the ATF. I'm just sticking my head in right now. I haven't seen any news. So what they've done is Dettelbach is out. Dettelbach's been out. He was the acting director of the ATF. He bounces out, and now they put Marvin Richardson in, who is the temporary head of the ATF. And now Kash Patel, the paperwork has been signed by President Trump to have Kash Patel be the acting director. So that would be Marvin Richardson would go down again. Anyway, so someone said Trump betray. I don't see that. But guys, basically where we're at right now is a very interesting, uncharted territory. We're going to find out together. I don't know anything more than that from a standpoint of details. I'm going to be watching it like a bloodhound, though. And make sure you guys send this out. You spread this, because this is unprecedented territory that we're in. And I am glad to be in the fight with you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live. I think it's out of my normal zone. But I thank you guys for showing up, and I will see you on the next one. Braden.